Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful day of Valorant Challengers North America. Day 2 of week 3. Some great games yesterday and some great games ahead of us today. My name's Sierra Dawn. Joining me on the analyst desk, I have none other than Roy and Ash. Ash, how are we doing today?
Feeling a little bit better. I think some banger Valorant games are incoming, and that'll definitely get me back in the spirit for today's matches.
Yeah, we had some amazing games yesterday. Roy, what we have up ahead, I mean, it's a good time to be a Valorant fan, good time to be caught up on challengers, and I think like really make or break in the season as well when we're looking at a couple of these teams and who's still trying to adapt, these teams trying to mold together, and who's already kind of got it figured out.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see like the philosophy of the game come into play. We're seeing, players getting comfortable within their rosters. The level of competition is getting higher and higher every single day, every single week. So I mean, it's looking great, Sierra.
100%. And pulling up the roster and talking a little bit about yesterday and what we can see today. Going into this week, we had 4 undefeated teams. And after yesterday's match, well, it was ATSM to reign victorious over M80 to be one of the few remaining undefeated teams. Rankers and Cubert Academy, Ash, the other 2, and only one of them will be able to keep that title after today.
Yeah, it's getting really spicy. I think yesterday's match as well, most people had their money on M80. TSM, of course, they are a strong roster too, but the maps yesterday were extremely chaotic. I feel like we saw just a plethora of util kills coming in, but it's starting to get really dangerous as the competition does run
hmm
tighter as the Swiss stage is going on.
Yeah, when we're looking at this bracket and everything we're playing out for, of course, once we have those teams that are a little further down, that whoever ends up 0-4, that is elimination. So this isn't necessarily the time to be trying out maybe the new stuff. You have to make sure you have that mold. You're able to be comfortable in these matches, and you can try and make sure you can at least end a little bit further up. But first match that we're talking about today, elimination, the last thing on their minds, because it is going to be that rankers going up against Cubert Academy that we're going to have eyes on first. So that one I think is going to be super, super exciting. I know a lot of people have been really excited to see this rankers squad that made that splash in stage 3 going up against this Sentinels Cubert Academy, which is one of the most exciting rosters with, of course, Ash, just a lot of really, really exciting possibilities for these players and the philosophy the team's built around.
Yeah, we haven't I mean, when it comes to the players on this team, every single one of them is recognized within this scene. And I think that's what's so exciting about it is just really seeing how their chemistry is coming together throughout this season. They looked very solid so far on Cubert Academy, but you're talking about that rankers again, that's been undefeated that we're talking about since stage 3. This is a team though that I would be looking towards. I would put my money on being able to put a stop to that hot run that they've had so far.
Yeah, which is why this is such an exciting matchup. When you see the players on this squad, Roy, these are
hmm
some of the players that we are going to be seeing in Tier 1 one day. This is going to be the future here. So to see them kind of coming together now, this being like this training ground here, it is the roster that can keep anyone else out of this potential Ascension run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at first glance, when you look at this roster from Cubert Academy, it's like they literally won the roster shuffle. They won the roster mania. They got some of the best players in their key roles. They're also working on developing upcoming players. Obviously, Reduxx being that upcoming player, but I mean, kid's a beast. And but you have player like Knights who haven't really had a chance on such a massive like public showing, and now he's proving to be one of the players, right, that we kind of talk about when we talk about this roster. But overall, I completely agree. I think this team is very strong, and the fact that they've only played and shown 2 maps so far on going into their 3rd match is just a testament to their power.
100%. And there was 2 key players that you talked about in that, which was Reduxx and Knight. So talking first about Reduxx, because of course, when we see this creation of the Cubert Academy, he was the one that brought these players together. He's the captain of the team, but then someone else, Ash, that in the last couple matches is really been able to pop off. Nobody's surprised, might I add.
No, definitely not. I think ever since his debut on Oxygen Academy, he's been a hot prospect that everyone's had their eyes on as far as how he was going to continue to grow within the scene. And to know that this is the player that also managed to put this iteration of Cubert Academy together says a lot about his vision for success here for Cubert. And he's just been popping off. Very consistent duelist player. He's always good for those first engagements and whatnot, but he's also got top competition on the other side.
He does, and we'll get to that in just a moment, but we have to talk about one of the players that people are still getting familiar with on this team. There's a lot of big names that we have here, but Knights is another player that joined this roster, and if you were paying attention to Ranker Stage 3 run, this name might be familiar from there, and to be able to see him now, Roy, be on this roster, moving into this NT role to be able to show what he's got, there's a lot of people that have been talking about, like, Knights is the wave of Valorant. Like, this is one of the next up-and-coming players.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, his stats might not be that impressive when you first look at it, but considering how well Reduxx and Nismo are playing within this roster, the fact that he has these stats left over, as well as holding a 10-4 first kill, first death ratio, shows the fact that he's a very strong player. And you kind of need players like Knights in the current meta that is just so utility heavy and just so wombo combo-y. And so having players that are strong that can defend, whole anchor down sites and get theirs and sort of find openings on the lurks as well is very important. And the fact that they have such a cracked player in that role is honestly a really good step forward.
And then you've also got the whole, friends to foes storyline there going up against his previous team. And
Dun, dun,
it's,
dun.
I think, no better opportunity for him as well. You were talking about it a little bit early on, Sierra, to be playing with some of these players who have had so much experience, like Nismo, like Scuba, on this side of Cubert Academy, to give a really good foundation for Knights to actually build up those skills and have a great learning opportunity as he is fragging out too.
Especially with the two different goals of these two teams. Of course, with Cubert Academy not able to ascend, it's about these individual players being able to get that development and showcase they have what it takes. Whereas on the other side, Rankers is a team that very well can be going for this ascension run. And of course, different goals of the players across the team. This was a team that came together, stage 3, ran through the competition. Roy, they're back to do it again. You're having names like Inspire, who this is the redemption arc, but then other players like Exer and Cainzera, where this is like, all right, let's just show everyone what we got.
Yeah, I mean, this team must be so annoying to play against because they play such a different version of this game than what most teams are practicing against and what kind of, the sort of reps that they're getting in practice and in matches, right? They play very off meta. They have very different compositions. The pace that they play at, they're very confidence based. So they're not really relying on a strategy book or some sort of set plays. They're kind of they're just masters of their roles. They have players in the perfect positions and they just run people over like it's a rank game. That's why they're called rankers. They're just running it down. And the only way to beat them is to stop them. You have to be able to shoot back and you have to be able to match them on different levels for you to kind of take them down. And it's probably the reason why they're so successful.
I mean, the confidence across the squad is it is 100% there, which is something that got to see when talking to Cainzera last week. We'll talk about him for today, because when we're looking at this team and one of those kind of identities, we see a lot of double duelists, and we get to see Cainzera normally go on to that second duelist role, of course, complementing this Yoru coming out from Exer. And I mean, Ash, Cainzera is someone that will put up those numbers, will put up that impact in the server no matter what.
Yeah, I think what's crazy is just the fragging potential on this server as a whole, or in this roster as a whole, but Cainzera takes it to another level. He's such a big part of, I think, the win conditions here for Rankers. Not to say that, I mean, anybody could step up to the plate, but when you pit him up against Reduxx, who has been a consistent star duelist on the side of Cubert Academy, but you look at the numbers here for Cainzera, he's the best player right now within stage 1, and he's been unkillable when it comes down to first engagements. I think it's 22-7 over the last 4 maps as far as that first blood to first death ratio, as opposed to that kind of more of a 50-50 coming out from Reduxx. It's crazy how much value you're seeing from him in that primary duelist role, and then even slotting into the clove there as well. Really just giving him every opportunity to frag out possible, because he's so consistent in being able to give those numbers advantages in those early rounds.
Yeah, now I want to emphasize something that you said too, Ash, is he is one of the youngest players in this league, and he's the highest statted player by far. I mean, I don't usually put that much stock on stats, but this guy cannot be denied. He's been a very key part in the team's success, and the fact that he can fill so many roles and play sort of these random, agent roulette, basically, and the fact that he's putting up numbers that he is honestly just insane.
And that's a big thing with this team as well, because this team has a lot of young players that are super capable.
Definitely.
And this was someone, Zera was someone that Inspire had called out specifically, being like, yo, if this kid is comfortable, like, he's going to pop off. He is going to open up the map. And we've really gotten to see that throughout the series. And talking about Inspire, talking about that redemption arc, this is the more legacy voice on the team, the person that's able to kind of, not IGLing, but is able to kind of lead the others, lead these young kids, Roy. And that's someone with the experience, too, that is super valuable to this roster to make sure everyone, too, is grounded.
Yeah, I mean, try to name me another player that has been such a consistent performer and most consistently denied respect in the industry. Like, I literally can't think of anyone. This player is a beast. He's an absolute demon. He's an innovator in the role. He's a very massive specialist. He's very vocal, and he backs it up with firepower. I mean, this guy's arguably the most impactful player on the team. Obviously, Zera's stats are hard to deny as well, but in terms of overall impact, I have to say that Inspire, in my opinion, is the key part of this roster.
I love how you're talking about impact there, because I think that when we look back at the Burgers Boys matchup that Rankers had last week, it was so many opportunities that Inspire was able to take to thread the needle on those lurk positions to catch Burger Boys off guard. That's something that Cubert Academy are going to have to look towards in this match today, is those moments where Inspire is taking those chances and finding those opportunities when Zera and Eggster are creating these openings with so much chaos.
I love this next head-to-head that we have going on, too, when you are looking at the Senti for each team, but such a dramatic difference in that experience, too. Knights going on to this new roster and still so young, so much potential, Roy, in this player, going up against someone who is that grounded player for the team.
Yeah, I mean, you have like sort of the narrative of like fresh player coming in, right? It's sort of hard to you don't really know what to expect from Knightsy. But you have Inspire, who's constantly innovating. He's constantly creating new setups that people and teams are stealing. I mean, dude's a true bred Sentinel player, right? So it's kind of an interesting narrative, because now you have this cracked, player on the come up versus somebody who's been has a little bit more veterancy in the scene. And it's a pretty interesting dynamic, especially when it comes to those lurk fights and trying to find openers and just like trying to bring the team up and open up the rounds for the team.
Especially going back to the point, too, that Knights was one of the players on Rankers before, someone who was on the same team as Inspire and everything else, and now having to go up against his old squad. I feel like, Ash, there definitely has to be a little bit of pride on the line. Like, I can take my old team down.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, a little bit of beef that we saw in last week's interview too, coming out from Zera there. So I think that this is a really good litmus test here for Knights as well, to see how deep he can really dig with his own micro, considering the fact that he does have experience playing with those Rankers players, and they will have a little bit of an idea of, okay, we know his playstyle a bit from a behind the scenes point of view. So I'll be looking towards him to seeing how he can adapt on the fly here in today's matches.
I mean, when we're talking about knowing what a team has prepared, both teams are kind of wild cards, I think, in their own rights. Rankers being, their identity is, we're a bunch of ranked players. We can do any situation, and it literally does not matter. Whereas Cubert Academy, we haven't really gotten to see too much of the squad yet.
2 maps.
Even though we know that they're talented players, haven't really dived into their map pool. So going into our map picks and bans for the series, I feel like this is a fun opportunity to kind of test that a little bit on Cubert Academy's side, and Rankers are going to take them to Bind to start here, Ash.
Pretty spicy. Bind, a map that we haven't seen from either side. Sure, Rankers, we did get to see an iteration of them during stage 3. You can expect those Yoru shenanigans to come out on Bind. It's been really difficult for a lot of teams to play up against that Yoru one trick, because he has such a high skill ceiling, maybe not just being used to the pacing that he's going to take that in towards. But then at the same time, Cubert Academy, they're also going to be going in completely fresh, where you don't have a look towards them, so no prep that can really be done.
And I think Bind makes complete sense from the Rankers perspective when you consider the fact that Bind is one of the only maps that you can comfortably run double duelist on and still get a lot of value. So it kind of allows Zera and Eggster to get their value out on this map as well. But now we have questions, right, of like, okay, we don't really know what to expect from either team, but what meta is Cubert leaning into? Are they leaning into the Tejo? Because they're very capable of using it. They've shown it on other maps. Are they leaning into a double initiator? Like, what meta are we really going to be expecting from these teams? And that clash of meta is going to play such a massive factor in the results and the map flow overall.
I'd be super down if we did get to see the Tejo coming out from Cubert Academy, especially there's so many people on the team that we have not gotten to talk about whatsoever, but Nismo has been someone who we've gotten to see a lot of here in Tier 2, and seen him, it was Pearl that we got to see the Tejo on coming out from Nismo, and it was fantastic, first off. And second, Tejo obviously just strong across the board. So I'd be intrigued if they could bring that out and what Rankers has for an answer for that. But Ash, when we are looking at this Rankers squad, we do have that little bit of information from Stage 3 with what we can expect. We last saw the ISO. We always see that Yoru and, you know, any aggressive other picks. I feel like it should be pretty much the same kind of going into this.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. I think that honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Ion 2X also even just like slotting back into the Clove that they were running there on Bind as well, that Knights was actually playing last time around. Just because Ion 2X, sure, on a controller right now, but he was previously known for his flashy duelist plays. He's an insane fragger. I think it just fits very well with the play style that you can expect coming out from Rankers to just be able to kind of reprise that kind of a role for him. And then on the other side, though, Knight's previously playing the Clove, it'll be a big role shift for him swapping over to the side of Cubert Academy, where he's been mainly just being on that mainstay Sentinel, which I'm curious to see which direction they're going to kind of take that in, all things considered.
Right. Well, talking about how we think this series is going to be stacking up before we head into our first map here. Of course, we have to get into our official predictions. So for myself, seeing this team, how they're able to just run through Stage 3, I had to pick Rankers. Wyatt and Uber are with me on this one. Now, you two, though, you guys are going for Cubert Academy.
Ash. Let's go.
Okay.
Enjoyers?
Listen, I just want to rationalize my decision, okay? I just want Cubert to win because they're an organized team and I support their philosophy on the game. And I don't want to live in a world where I believe that the Rankers are the best team in the league, even though they deserve it. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, okay? They're a very good team, but I don't want to propagate that. I don't want the nonchalant Warriors to defeat the people that actually care and are trying their hardest. So purely on a philosophical reason, I'm going for Cubert.
On the flip side of the coin, I love the chaos, first off.
Agreed.
But I also do feel like there's an organized chaos to it. I mean, you're saying that you don't want the nonchalant, but talking to Inspire after winning Stage 3, talking about how much he needed the win and how he was like a mentor to these kids, even if there's a lot of things that on the server with their play style, etc., that seem like a chaos, I do think that there is a lot of caring behind the scenes. So I still like, I'm not going to be like, oh no, like I think that there is care here. Even if they're just running it down with these Euros, these double duelists, they care.
Yeah, I think that when you look towards Rankers, their playstyle's really fun. It's really fresh to watch. And you got to give them the respect that they've deserved.
Definitely.
The fact that they're completely undefeated since this roster has come together. But I also am just such a huge fan of the players on Cubert Academy. I'm huffing. It's not even copium. It's not even copium. Because I do genuinely actually, I was going to say I'm huffing the copium, but it's not even cope. I genuinely really believe in the roster that Cubert has founded. And I do think that despite my prediction, I think it's going to be a really, really close matchup regardless. Me personally, I'm always going to put my stonks in Nismo, fellow Canadian. I might not be French Canadian, but still fellow Canadian there. I think he's one of the best initiator players within the tier 2 scene. It's been a surprise, I think, to many people that we haven't seen him even be picked up for tier 1 yet. And I just want to see him winning.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We, again, today, all Canadian desks, so we do have to root for our fellow Canadian out on the server, regardless of what TV's on for this one. But time to start getting into our map and get into our agent select, especially to, again, so intrigued with what Cubert Academy could be bringing out, since this is the unknown quantity. So Roy, heading into this, we talked about what we thought, and all right, we do get the Tejo from Nismo. All right, let's go.
We've been seeing so much Clove on this map, and it's honestly a little confusing because I feel like the longer duration smokes are so helpful, but maybe these teams have cooked up something. But I mean, Sentinels are sort of running it. I mean, give or take a couple agents in line with what we were thinking. Double controller. They're going into the Tejo. They're going for the Sky as a second initiator. But on the other side, we have the ISO. We have the Yoru, just like you guys predicted, and as well as the Deadlock coming out from Inspire. That is not surprising whatsoever. And I think overall we should have a pretty good match.
Yeah, I'm eating my words as well. Like, I expected maybe they were gonna run a Senti comp with how popular like the Deadlock and Vice have been here on Bind, but instead Knight's reprising that Clove role that he had played previously. And I do agree. I think Clove single smokes is rough on this map because of the short duration, but when you're pairing it with the Viper, I think for a double controller composition, I really like that out of Cubert Academy. It gives you that opportunity to have those refreshes, even if Knights goes down in some sort of early engagement during the round. It kind of just bolstering the rest of the coverage that the Viper is going to be able to provide.
I mean, Knights on a comfortable agent going up against his old team. It's time to see Rankers if they can take the first map in our highly anticipated series, both undefeated teams, or if Cubert Academy can go ahead and get the upset to kick things off. Now time to head over to our casters, Uber and Wyatt. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much, Sierra and co. This is quite the matchup. Two of the three last remaining teams who are undefeated in Challengers, Rankers and Cubert Academy. Only one can advance from this matchup unscathed. Now, Wyatt, I guess the question everyone's been asking, are you a nonchalant gamer fan? Because it kind of seems like your style. When I first met you, I thought you didn't care about anything, really.
I would definitely, actually, honestly, these days, not very nonchalant. I'm raging like crazy when I'm playing in ranked with Mimi. Yeah. It's driving me mad. But so no, I think I'm more in my Cubert Academy try-hard era, to be honest. Okay. But I respect the nonchalant approach from the rankers, who I'm fully expecting to just walk at them on defense. And here we go. They're walking at them on defense.
They absolutely have zero respect. This is wild. Okay. Clone triggered. Exeter, though, not fully committing on this push with the standard Viper wall. Kane has walked up it on every part of the map. There is no way you can be prepared for this. This is not normal Valorant.
I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not completely surprised to see this right off the jump, because Cubert Academy don't have the Sentinel. And if there were any team that were going to try to take advantage of that by 24/7, 365 flanking, it's going to be the Rankers.
Yep, absolutely punished for that lack of trip or any early detection of the walk-up of A, and also their Viper wall allowed Kane 0 to go. Now, loosely held side here for Rankers. Ion Ho's going to bust back into Lamps, and all of a sudden, T-Dog's feeling a lot less comfortable about trying to plant under these conditions. Ion steps out to challenge Knights, takes down his replacement, an opposite number. And we top back up here now in a 2v3.
Definitely a ranked type play, but now it's time for some match type play. Just swing together, try and flash out of the smoke, double up, face lamps.
Often comes across nicely done. T-Dog trying to get involved, and ends up being a 1-for-1. That does leave T-Dog on his own to try and defend this. And Inspire has a ghost to work with. Right click, inexplicably connecting at long range. But Exeter will be the last one standing to give Rankers that crucial pistol.
There's some good trades coming out. Exeter, the known Yoru one trick, who has been so good. And what a meta to be a Yoru one trick in, to be honest. I mean, we've literally just seen both of the top teams in Americas running Yoru on effectively every single map. And Bind has always been a good map for the Yoru anyhow. So definitely expecting to see him get some value here. And I do love that on the first round, they're going mega aggro as well like that. Just instill the early fear for Cubert Academy that they're going to have to be watching every single extremity at all points. Someone could be running it down on them.
It's such effective conditioning because it's going to make the attackers slow the game down so much. And it is. Look where Cubert are playing straight away. Of course, given the weaponry's seen better days, they are holding for these pushes up. Rankers probably can sniff this out. Reduxx, though, I don't know if they expect him to have brought an outlaw into a round. Excuse me, Mark.
At least if we're going to take some early notes from these couple rounds, Rankers are just starting off with this 3-man death ball push. They did it out of hookah round 1. They tried to do it out of showers round 2. And they slow down the game and put some Exeter on the angle, get some damage.
That's an outlaw. Why not in round 2? Okay, bro. Justin here put Reduxx in a position to try to do damage. Knights is nothing to work with. The sacrificial lamb, economically speaking. Cubert here now, of course, have the ability to make use of this.
I want to say Oxygen actually did that a lot for Reduxx last year, and it's not too uncommon. See MIBR do that sometimes with Osphos, just try and turn the game around early with the Outlaw round 2.
It's the evolution of the Raid boss strat out of the pistol round, in fairness.
30 seconds left.
That Viper Wall has been activated yet. This is going to be awkward, though. Reduxx gets up there, but Ion caught out not only by the guided salvo, but also the paint shell give him basically nowhere to go. Kane's forced back here, able to catch Knights, though. They thought they had the drop on them there, and challenges the front of the site pretty comfortably. Finally, the Outlaw rings out. Finds the
10
connection.
seconds left.
Undercut did come through, connect on the last two Cubert players. They're running out of time to get a plant, and CaneZero steps up, finds 3 with the Spectre, no less. And that's a Cubert investment in the Outlaw. It falls flat.
It was a good kill with the synced up explosive util to open that up. I mean, ultimately, way too many players had classics, and Knights tried to get really aggressive to find some of that forward space backside, but gets completely caught out, and pretty much easy from there to clean up, play off of a simple Sky Flash. I want to see what Rankers are going to do now on the bonus against an actual buy, though, early round. If they're going to continue to try and go for this triple push aggression style, or they have something else in store.
It's just the coverage of that utility. It is literally set up so you have nowhere to run if you're the player that's pushed out of lamps.
Yeah, those are the kind of positions that you just cannot be caught in against Potato. Yeah, it's just too good. I mean, even without the breach, playing positions like that, absolute nightmare.
All right, we have Cubert players in the TP. We'll see what the play is going to be. Again, it is a slow start to the round. There's always this expectation that Rankers are going to try and push up on you. Though much more typical setup for them this round. It's first, we'll call it a gun round. It's been generous for Cubert. We are playing pretty default defensive positions here.
Yeah, a bit slower around the Outlaw, which is in the hands of CaneZero, over towards Heaven. He's posted up on that short angle, which is not cut off. Might have an opportunity to get an opening kill.
Reduxx just walks straight into that. And Exeter's able to play inside lamps because he has the gate crash active. That's now expired, so he's committed, but none of that util. He's actually hitting that part of the map this time. So the Oru, straight chilling. Exeter with the Bucky, just stuck in there. Nismo has other plans, apparently, for those salvos. Kane under the double tap, wants to try and take a fight. Dirty right click, but still will be shut down by Nismo. How does the dad strength go for you this round, buddy? 2 health and a dream. Exeter accounts for the rest of it with the Bucky.
These guys are so fun to watch. They're just simply fearless. They just throw caution to the wind at any given moment, are going to all swing for each other. They're very well coordinated in those moments because they're all on the same page heading into the server, which is just fight them. They have the just fight them comp. And unfortunately, there wasn't enough in the energy for the Viper to have the wall up there, so they just get open face. They're more concerned about cutting off the angle lamps. That is their immediate undoing. Right back onto an eco.
Maybe it might have been worth waiting a little bit longer to get that wall. Either way, look at the double setup here over towards the top of B long. CaneZero is able to take yet another one, getting a lot of mileage out of the Outlaw, by the way. As Cubert, of course, now into more of a sheriff buy with no armor to speak of. It's another very good round for it. T-Dog here, playing back on this right side of the map and just hoping again that Rankers can be tempted into pushing up, but outside of the first couple of rounds, they're really not doing that. They are fighting aggressively on the site, messing up sort of conditioning and timing, but early in the round, they're not giving up any free kills.
Over there.
They do it, Wyatt. They have a wall.
They have the wall. They're contacting forward, but it drops. Sadly, so does T-Dog. You hate to see that.
You've got to get moving. You know what I'm saying? You've got your Viper player telling you, hey, boys, that ball's about to come down. You've got to respect that position. Yeah, well, Cubert just got cooked.
Yeah, they've gotten a little bit cooked, and now into the next round. Ion has the ult, so I'm fully expecting to see him run it down, take a fight, maybe get a kill, die, come back to life, get another kill, all good. Kane just send someone to the gulag, win a duel because these players don't miss. The game is just relatively simple when you don't miss your shots. Is what I'm discovering from this game so far.
That pistol round, I love the push up defensively, but good protocols there, to cover. Reduxx covering this mode there, even though he got hit and grabbed it. This is how the round ended. Ended up being quite close. It was a one-on-one. And then in that second round, we didn't have nearly that level of push-up. All this util, pretty effective, right? This is round 2, so free kill there for Reduxx, but I mean, Kane is just aggressively fighting front of sight with the Spectre, swinging off these timings behind these like undercuts. And then what? We walk up short here against a bloody Outlaw, prioritizing the poison orb over the toxic screen for whatever reason. And it doesn't go any better from there, folks. This is your match in 60 seconds. Last 4 rounds. Brutal for Cubert Academy.
All right, heading into this one, T-Dog does have the Seekers to maybe get some valuable mid-round info or just follow up for the straight execute, and if they can get Reduxx a killer and orb, he'll have that showstopper. They know now that at least on the prior round, Inspire had been setting up that deadlock wall towards Hookah. They didn't, I believe, know where it was placed beforehand. They definitely know now. They get that audio cue. And anytime you see the deadlock when you're crossing a corner, you have to be worried that the grab net is going to be thrown down and the deadlock is just jiggle peeking it for info. It's like super common for that to happen, especially towards B long.
Scout destroyed.
It's arbitrarily early, in fairness, potentially to shut down like a fast push, so that will expire. And speaking of which, Inspire opts to swing into a fight there, but there are multiple Cubert players hoping they can draw the deadlock out of position. So all that util on the B side, now that's shut down. Push up, though, from the long. This one is a bit more prescribed and read into to some degree by Cubert, but they just don't shoot the same way as these Rankers guys. I'll tell you what. Seekers come out here. Cube doesn't really need to learn the Rosetta Stone to know that his team are in deep caca this round.
T-Dog just fires off the Seekers. Guys, they're towards B. I can promise you that, given they just walked up at you. They're trying to slow the round down with 40 seconds left.
We've just been worn like a sock by 3 players at B. Let me hit those Seekers and just check to see so someone's not pushing up. It's almost like quasi-sentinel, coverage to a degree. It's like, are we on a timer?
30
Are we getting
seconds
pushed
left.
on?
So this noise cut does draw one Rankers player over towards A, so they're split 2 and 2. If Reduxx can get an opening here, they've got a chance. It's a good nade for a pocket.
Just Kane out of it. Nicely done. Reduxx ends up getting a kill with the secondary explosion of those paint shells. Time, though, is of the essence. We have a dimensional
10 seconds left.
Extra gets away from the showstopper, in theory. Flash in the position of Reduxx trying to frustrate him, and that is a rocket eventually fired off towards elbow. So, later flank there, coming from Hookah, I would say. Ion's back in the fight, though. Reduxx won't be getting that kill quite yet. Scuba, though, nice little swing. Poppin has been dealt with. Yoru has to get busy. Extra needs to find his target. Drops out of Hookah, making a ton of sound, and gets picked off. Nice Reduxx round there, 4 kills.
A good adjustment in the mid-round there from Cubert Academy to slow things down. And then the perfect nade from Reduxx to find that opening. That was really their win con. They just needed Reduxx to find the first kill so they could get into the site. They were going to have so much to deal with afterwards. I mean, again, this is just the most Rankers response to that situation. Inspire hears someone shooting at his wall. Okay, bet. Let me just take a timing in a fight. Dies. How do we recover the situation? All right, double push. Walk down long. Take more fights. Okay, cool. We've even this up.
That literally put them ahead.
It's crazy.
What am I watching here, Exter? What do you call this one, buddy? Oh, man. Scuba there, ready for the contact push up a short with the operator. You heard that right.
I mean, Cubert Academy should be able to start punishing Rankers in these early rounds. They've done it 2 in a row now. This style is counterable by slowing the pace and winning your duels on the push out. The winning the duels part is the struggle against Rankers.
Pretty clean by Inspire. Still confident enough under
He's just
a
going
barrage
for
of utility.
more.
Yeah, why does he swing back into that? These guys are wild. Okay, Kane Zero. Just the solo player on the site here, and obviously the Deadlock having fed herself to Krakatoa as a sacrifice to get good yields of your crops this year means that none of that util is going to be effective. So it is just Kane Zero. Double tap active, tries to throw out that undercut. There are 3 players ready to take the fight. I respect it. Look, there's not a ton of info for Rankers about just how many people are on the A side of the map. There are at least 2. So, no need for a plant here, as Cubert have finally been able to goad Rankers frothing at the mouth to take these fights.
This team is the Valorant analyst's worst nightmare. If you are a tactical Valorant nerd, you're preying on the Cubert win right now. Preying on it, man. For me personally, I'm going along for the ride. I'm enjoying this.
You are a Valorant analyst. You're aware of that, right?
Well, I mean, yes, in a way. But I appreciate different game styles due to that. You know what I mean? It can't all be tactical and utility-based. Sometimes you just have to show up to the server and run around.
You know what? I'm here for a good time, Wyatt. That's, I don't care how long we're here. Just want to see some fireworks. So Poppin, against his every primal urge, is slapping his left hand to keep it off the WASD keys for now.
Saving. Saving?
Saving.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's not the Poppin I know.
The Rankers save. Doesn't quite hit right. There's something a little discordant about it. That's the second round here for Cubert Academy, though. Again, more methodical play yields results.
I mean, Rankers are obviously starting out really hot, winning a lot of the aim fights early. But when you look down the roster of this Cubert team, they've got shooters. We know they do. This is a cool matchup in terms of the Cubert Academy team being the guys that are still in Challengers, and you're questioning how they haven't been on a tier 1 team yet. I mean, I've been asking that about Scuba for like 4 years straight now.
Yeah.
Versus Rankers, who are just the straight up demons of the modern age.
Oh, okay. I think it was actually a special delivery getting hit there from Nismo. I think he banks that concussive grenade. Catches out Rankers, who are there as 4.
Oh no! Please win the
man.
duel. All right, we've stabilized. All is right. All is right in the world.
Again, just some pretty good util. Cubert starting to read the tendencies of Rankers already. His push-ups here on short got completely ruined by that Teho, Salvo, and grenade combination. So Inspire, with a Stinger, is going to have to try and dig something out of this situation. Still 4 up. He's comfortable. Scuba one puts this one to bed. We almost have an even game here, as Rankers might consider a change of tack.
It is possible. They did try to bring out the operator, switch things up, but they did immediately push up with it. So that didn't entirely work out. Almost an Odin there. That would have been pretty frustrating if you're playing towards lamps with that. You can just spam through short, but I don't think they actually opt for it.
That is the end of that round, of course. Inspire left there. Yeah, it was definitely that Teho util that boomed him. Nismo
All
there.
right.
Years of experience paying off. Here we go. Gun round now for Rankers.
I'm going to tell you what I want to see. Oh, that. Well,
You wanna see
oh,
that?
he did get someone.
Yep.
Has the shield.
It's Scuba though. Okay. Managed to pick him up. Double tap. Refreshed
And that's
and
the end.
defended by a teammate. So easy pick from that kill contract here for Rankers to give the player advantage. And hey, Inspire might not die first, so some of this deadlock util may actually be able to be played off of. Plus, there is an annihilation here too.
I think that was...
No escape.
That ISO ult was popped off the sound of a sky flash, which is pretty cool. Okay, extra. Oh my lord! All right, is able to capitalize on Nice just
Is
walking
Knife
in.
trying to do the Durka? I can't tell. Wrong character for that, honestly, but walks up on the site and unfortunately just isn't aware of the natural crossfire waiting there. So, a very comfortable, flawless win here for Rankers as they do tweak the approach a little.
Yeah, I want to see the beginning again. I think that was popping. They just sent out a guiding light, gets the audio cue when he pops the flash, and then off that Kane Zero rips the ult. I was
Very nice.
thinking maybe in that round there was
They call it
potential
Scuba.
of Poppin using the Seekers, and then Kane uses the ult off that. But hey, Sky Flash
I don't know if
works
there was a
even
guiding
better.
light. No, I don't even know what this is based off because it was only Scuba as the Viper over on the A side of the map there, Wyatt.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Poppin sent his guiding light, and it got a
Oh,
flash.
right. Sorry.
And then
got
got the audio cue. Yeah.
That was really nasty. And a very clean round here for Rankers. So just a little speed bump. Inspire, though, still a similar approach. You're definitely trying to tease some activity out of Cubert Academy. Trailblazer now through the TP. Oh, followed up by the rest of the team. Kane had the double tap, but great little blast pack can knock him off kilter. Now where things are a little bit awkward. Ion is inside the teleporter. XT might look to try and bail him out here with a flash, and yet he's going to push the smoke off that timing. That's pretty clean. Make it a 1-for-1. Oh, buddy, it's carnage. I don't blame them for thinking that clone was an actual player because it pushed up just like Rankers would. However, player advantage now for Cubert. Popping a little bit low, stuck on that corner. Can't heal himself, of course, and that salvo is going to force Exeter to move, but he's happy to fight on his feet. Poppin eventually falls now. Exeter is low in a 1 versus 3. Knights, of course, looking for a chance to stay alive here. Exeter's going to be lit by the stealth drone. They're out of there. Cubert don't want to take any risks.
The amount of flashes that were going off, bro. What is happening outside of Hookah? It's like triple Yoru flash, double guiding light, and the clone got shot to try and just get Ion out of the teleporter where he was stuck.
I mean, you've
Look
got
at
to find...
the minimap, man. Look at where everyone's dead. Just all at the teleporter.
Okay. X is in a 1 versus 2 and with a Viper's Pit to fight through. I appreciate Scuba offering such an amount of respect, but it doesn't matter if Exter was 20 or 100 walking into this pit, then does it? All the same, and around the corner, he is spotted. Scuba takes him out. Cubert get around back here after Rank has found their flawless, so still plenty of money for the defenders to continue their signature brand of Valorant.
Listen, I don't want to be biased, but it would be pretty fun to see these guys in VCT Americas. I would. Their style of play is it's just so fun. I would love to see this. Can you imagine them running it down against FNS? I'd pay good money to see this team.
Right, pit them against like a big brain IGL, right? See if they could possibly be unraveled. I think that would be a ton of fun. Put them against like a genre
I need to
Valorant.
see this against the tactical Valorant that we've got.
Put them against Valen. See how they go. Tech pause here, of course. Cubert getting some Rogaine after tearing their hair out for the last few rounds. Give them a moment for that. Rank is also, like, I've got to say, giving us examples of like game states you never see in Valorant, right? There are teams that when they play, like it breaks your conditioning as an opponent as well. Like there's almost like an assumption about how you expect your opponents to push up and how you expect them to trade and like what standard protocols are. But you're often caught off guard. Like you are not expecting necessarily like a Trailblazer ping on towards like, you know, slope and then 2 players push straight in to the teleporter. And there's a great reaction. Like Reduxx with the blast pack knocks Kane Zero off. He comes out there, even with the double tap, he still gets taken down. Eventually, like, Cubert create these ways of syncopating and staggering rankers, pushing into these fights such that they're not able to use a numbers advantage locally. I think it's pretty impressive considering it's like the muddiest Valorant that you could imagine that rankers are trying to pull Cubert into this absolute maelstrom of nonsense.
Cubert have been beginning to do a better job, though, for really dealing with the nonsense maelstrom. I would like to see them on one of these rounds exploit Inspire playing so close up in hookah. That is really punishable. Like, you have the Tejo and you have a Raise Nade. You can crush him in there by just launching all the explosive utility at him. If you find out that he is in there, like if you catch him throwing down the wall, he's always trying to fight that tight angle. That's a player that should be able to be exploited in that position to find an opening pick at some point here.
And we have a Discord issue for Sentinel's Cubert Academy, so that's being ironed out.
A Discord issue?
Yeah.
Time to get the squad in vent.
Get him in TS. They got them in Mumble, bro. That was our last resort. Mumble, yeah, because in Australia we had like a mega ping, so like you're playing with players like from Sydney to Perth, and it's like literally like 100 ping plus. Like it's crazy. So Mumble was like the best way to you have to
listen. No, I spent a lot of time in Mumble for the IRC pickup game channel from ESEA.
Of course.
Nothing like being old.
Yep. Goes pretty hard, folks. Recommend it. You're all gonna have to try it anyway, so don't take my word for it. Trust and Plug, obviously off screen, struggling there a little bit against Sad Esports as a 6-0 round deficit. So we'll check in with that game a little bit later on to see what comes of it. Back here, though, we've seen, again, I think if you're a Rankers fan, you like to follow them. I know a lot of fans really, back in stage 3, they really wanted us to get them on camera. And it wasn't until I watched them for the first time that I realized why. These guys like to buck the trends and play with absolutely zero respect as if it were a lifestyle. Maybe they pick up Verno next, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're in a tech pause. Do you want to do a podcast? We can react to the latest Valorant news.
Okay, sure.
we could react. I mean, we could. Me personally, I'm waiting to see the honest Chet reaction to the latest NRG news.
Is he unbanned? Is he unbanned from the game yet?
Verno and
Is he still banned?
I don't know.
I think he's actually banned until March.
Question.
Yeah. I don't know if he.
So he probably won't be they probably won't be re-adding him.
I mean, couldn't he just like? He could still coach, right? If someone just screen shared the game for him, maybe the assistant coach is in game screen sharing for him.
You're trying to get him perma-banned from.
I mean, is he banned from coaching?
Trying to find ways to get him out of here forever.
What do you like? Can I not like literally just tell players share my opinion on how they should play the game? Like, is he not allowed to coach or just not allowed to be in the client? Because like, I'm just saying, there's a lot of coaches. A lot of coaching styles, you know what I mean? Maybe that was the issue with the 100 Thieves application. Why? We'll never know. You should have offered to do that. We're going to be back, of course, after a break. We are 9 rounds down. 5-4 is the score. And rankers have showed us a very interesting brand of Valorant. Don't go too far. We're waiting on these Discord issues for Cubert. We'll be back. All right, folks, we are back. The issues plaguing Sentinel's Cubert Academy have been resolved. We're going to be into bind once more. Round 10, just around the corner, a full buy for both sides here. But Ion, obviously, not dead yet, available and ready to be used should it be required.
I'm going to tell you something, which is that it'll probably be required here on round 10. I can't imagine Ion saving this for a round. He's taking a fight and he's popping it.
He is leading the charge. Scooby here was positioned for a push-up. That one caught extra. You're never ready for this. You are never ready for the three-player push-up. Rankers just have a sense about this. Like, they're punishing Cubert every time they leave themselves short-handed on any part of the map. That is absurd.
You just can't leave a gap like that. And Inspire punished by Nice, though. That's a good kill from Octagon. They can't really accelerate the pace, though, right now. So Cubert gonna slow things down. Some rotates are being drawn. Consider their options.
That's again. Waiting on this. Still have that ultimate up. Extra gate crashes out over towards the A side of the map, but it is at B. Like, Cubert have the spike, and they're really selling it here. Trying to convince rankers they've made the right choice in redirecting Exter back to that part of the map. T-Dog barely alive here.
Not ready.
Poppin has been down. That now I think is going to have the rotation come back here for the defenders. They know well enough they need to be at the B side. They're all cut off the site itself, though. I wonder if we can have Ion push up. Yep, I should have known. He'll be back on his feet in just a moment, but Nismo with some shooting. Exter, though, again, is a third wave. Won't be able to stand up to Reduxx, who plows into them over the top of the container.
Yeah, when it comes to individual skill, Nismo, definitely no joke. He has always been a really strong aimer for many, many years in Valorant now. That was a really good mid-round. Again, this is where Cubert Academy are finding success in the rounds that single TP from T-Dog, and then they double drone. They have the boom bot, and I mean, not exactly a drone, but you know, the guiding light still gets info over towards showers, and that flash pop makes it seem like Cubert are about to go split into A, but no, they're actually just slowly creeping into B. Nismo picks up the rotate angle. That was a really good round. Forces rankers onto the eco. They came out swinging, but Cubert have adjusted nicely to their playstyle.
Eventually, like when it is time to walk up and take a fight, they do so with confidence. So it's not as if they've been too rattled by Ranker's aggressive pushing up on that first half. I think a team with any less experience than Cubert Academy is probably going to be out at sea right now. That's why they're both undefeated so far in challenges.
This time the setup from Cubert is ensuring that they have eyes on showers as well, by the way. Scuba trying to not get flanked over there again.
The masculine urge to swing it when he hears the sound. I get it. Inspire, though, stays back around the corner. Now the wall is down. Inspire has crossed. In pop and hoping to generate something there. Elsewhere, Exeter inside the smoke sees T-Dog. It's an easy pickup. Oh my goodness. Okay. Reduxx able to trade it out, though. It looked like he was trying to get out with the gate crash. Not to be. Nismo again. Cool, calm, and collected. Waits it out over towards that hookah side, and it's now open. Rankers had to push up, had to maybe look to employ those sheriffs as well as possible. Great timing there for Kane. Nismo standing in the open with a stealth range. Not sure about that one, but
No.
I'm just saying, Wyatt. Double tap active. Still no decent weapon outside of that stinger, and eventually Knight's able to bring him down. Closer than I would have thought. That was, of course, the anti-eco there from Cubert. Snatched up.
Oh my god. After he got the second vulnerable off, connected that, even with the classic, that's an easy one-click kill with the right click. That was hella dangerous for a second, but all good. Same story as the last several rounds, man. Just Cubert Academy slowing the game down, waiting out these pushes. Nismo over, I mean, that was a great trade, but Nismo over at Hookah just fully knows that as soon as that wall expires, that Inspired is going to walk at him. And that's exactly what happened. They are picking apart their style at this point.
I guess have the opportunity here with the buy and kill contract in hand to make it an even game heading onto that attack side, in which it'll be much harder for them to disrupt being aggressive, because of course that's what's expected of them. All right, Kane Zero v Reduxx inside the kill contract. The former still has his double tap up, so it's a fight comfortably won. And Rankers, of course, flatten Cubert. Look where everyone dies, by the way. We just push out of showers in this economy.
That was a really cool showers crunch, actually, using that dimensional drift, running it all the way down the other side of the map. Draws all of the attention by actually getting out of the ult, trying to fight Scuba, and then when they're distracted with that flank pressure from Exeter, they pop out of the teleport, crunch. That was a cool round to finish things up.
Nicely done here to even things up heading into the half. It's a fun time to remind everyone. Many people probably already know this, but Reduxx is listed on the Sentinels VCT roster. So is a sub there, a 6th player, effectively. That team, of course, is headed off to Bangkok after qualifying, so maybe not so much room there right now, but, I mean, this guy is so talented. Was obviously unfortunate with Oxygen sort of falling short along with Scuba at last challenges, but it was TSM going on a bit of a run. That story went. Still, real quality players on this roster. There's a good reason why both these teams are undefeated. Nismo's about to get busy. Okay, I like that. That is a clone, confirmed. The double tap a problem in these pistol rounds here as Nismo has to get off the angle now. Vulnerable, excuse me. That'll be the double tap refreshed over at that A side. Poppin', love this timing here. Just as Cubert try to wrap up short straight through showers, they are sniffed out and snuffed out.
I was able to get one more. It does have a little bit of the overheal, but no, not quite enough. Kenzera spams him down while the rest of the team get that plant over towards the B site. Scuba frustratingly walled off. This is an enjoyable Valorant experience here for the Viper.
Absolutely. I love that. Kane 0 at 20 health. I'm more than happy to find. Yeah, again, no different. Taking the challenge, Scuba knocked it down a little bit. It wouldn't be Rankers if they just sat on the side and waited for the push-up for Scuba. They absolutely want to test themselves here. Double swing towards Halls. Scuba low enough that Inspire can finish him off. And there it is. Pistol run one here by Rankers. That's both in the map. Time to springboard off that and build a lead.
That's why I appreciate Rankers. They're going to accelerate the end of the round there in the 3v1. They're not going to drag things out, not going to force us to yap any longer than we need to. They're just going to go swing at them and get that round done. And I do appreciate that from them. I really do. Unfortunately, early round over on the A site, Cubert tried to do their own Rankers type beat by walking down short and flanking them through shower, but then it just completely hung Nismo to dry on site, trying to retreat. So unfortunate timing.
Grabbing it in the hookah. Nobody home though. Scuba playing from outside of it now. It's going to be a pretty hard push up the long. Knight's already down. This thing is starting to go to work. And Poppin gets there with the Odin. Rather, the Ares was seeing that. Okay, fair enough. Hey, quick round's a good round. I'm here for it, boys. 8 to 6.
Not the Ares of all weapons. I think Rankers might be the only team in 2025 to have purchased an Ares. I can't think of anyone else buying
exactly why I stumbled on that. Like, what gun is that?
Here? That's
bloody Ares.
Not particularly common. And after that, if you take a look at Cubert Academy, they're buying all regen shields, interestingly, going into this round.
Interesting because I'm pretty sure when Rankers try and fight, they're full committing.
And
let's see how this plays out.
Insta in the showers trying to get that valuable dimensional drift.
There it is. That's why we're seeing this weapon through the corner, of course, at high penetration for the Ares. Accounts comfortably for Knights. Would have been a rifle upgrade were it so desired, but I don't think Rankers wanted to push any further in. Nicely done by Reduxx. There falls off that line as Inspire is trying to dig something out over towards A short. But Scuba is about to get very busy.
Your trail.
He's got to get at least one right now.
Still Ion cross there. Extra looking to take a fight there. Swing into the snake bite. Contingency here to cover actually up this distance. Kane able to get around the corner with a double tap. Kept him alive, but this is a lot of pressure he's suffering now. And Reduxx doesn't miss those. Cubert are ready to throw down. Play that fast-paced Valorant. They'll get their first round of the second half.
That was really well done between Scuba and Nismo. He's in that octagon position where he knows that if the hit comes in, he's going to get crunched by both hookah and long. So he calls for Nismo to send the guiding salvos over towards the hookah entrance so he doesn't have to actually worry about his flank and can just focus on taking the duels towards octagon. That's a nice little micro play that allowed them to win this out. You know, if those missiles hadn't been there, he might have just gotten insta-flanked, ran down, sights taken, and then Cubert in an uncomfortable 3-on-3.
Like it's going to be a showers play once more. Nismo wants to time these salvos to give control of it back to his team, but it's just Knights here. His two teammates were caught in the grab net. They do extricate themselves quickly, but we're drifting over towards the B side of the map now with Ion leading the charge. Poison Orb, though, is going to slow Rankers down again. Cubert in a better position to slow the pace of the game as defenders here. T-Dog, so they're not sure about hookah. Yeah, they have no coverage of that. They've got to be careful. Scuba's going to have to play through the smoke in some way, shape, or form. Bit of damage being taken there on the back foot as Reduxx is getting overwhelmed. Able to take Kane down either way. Scuba there from elbow chooses his time to emerge pretty well. And now we're down to a 3-on-3. We've got that deadlock wall set up now, so hard to make this retake happen as Nismo is in a difficult spot. If he tries to cross the wrap from elbow, he'll be spotted. He's got no one to play off right now. But there has to be an answer here for Cubert Academy.
Nismo has a fair bit of util, could get extra out of this corner, but isn't realistically in danger with the dimensional drift, and doesn't really matter, just catches a lovely timing.
That's just out of there. Absolutely does not like what he's seen over on towards that B side. Money situation, not the end of the world. There's 4 rifles likely that can be purchased for Cubert Academy next round.
Yeah, it should be all good here with the save. And in a rare moment, Rankers slowed down during that hit, and they were able to win things out. And after they got the wall down from Inspire, I believe there was a brief little moment of pause where Poppin was still towards Octagon, and then they swung in together to fight. I believe that was Scuba and Elbow, who went down as the last anchor on that site. Dynamic.
Got dimensional drift and kill contract up here for Rankers. Yeah, look at the anchoring here. You see that Cubert Academy pretty adamant about trying to fight for this site. Unfortunately, it's just an overwhelm in terms of the numbers, and then you still have to deal with this, you know, the retake wall thrown up by Inspire that makes it very hard for you. So I can see why Cubert want to anchor, play forward as much as they can, but there's a lot of danger in doing that against this double duelist comp. It's almost damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Extra running through. Clears out all of Hookah, clears out all of Octagon. Easy for the rest of the team to push up now for free into the site. It is vacant. There's for the taking.
Sees everything. T-Dog tries to find a timing here. Extra very low, but it's traded out. Ion is there. Popping out in the open now, and I like this from Kane Zero. Just goes for it, and he knows! He knows there's multiple players posted up inside that smoke. Ion gets involved there as well. pushing the doorway. Cubert Academy have a Reduxx on 1 health, folks. 3 for Ion in the round. Ultimate achieved. And Rank is here threatening to run away with it.
Definitely seemed like there was some kind of disconnection in the plan from T-Dog calling to get back into the site and the rest of the team actually being in position to be able to do so yet. He ran out there first alone from that CT spawn. And then you can see everyone else are just too far back. They're not actually really able to get out and help him. And any kind of little fundamental positioning error like that is just going to get punished by rankers because they're all hitting the gas at the same time all the time. Like, you're just going to get caught out in the open. Pretty tough.
Once again, that same grab net look here is going to catch on the Scuba. He doesn't have time to get out, so there it is. Kill contract now to deal with. Scuba's been in this position far too many times for his liking and will be dealt with. The weapons aren't great here for Cubert Academy. Rankers know it, and so bringing with confidence, they push onto the site. And Nismo's able to find 2 there with a ghost. Knights is back in the fight, rather. Ion, excuse me. Drops that spike away and gets over the wall. He's made sound though. They've heard this. He's got a go. Got to go real quick, and there's Kane Zero from the other end. Finds 2. Dirty stuff here from Rankers.
I love that. Have the spike, play to the win con of go kill them with your clove mid-ultimate. I love that for them. Kane's 24 and 11 right now. Also, there's no better feeling in the world than ripping that ISO ultimate on an anti-eco and you know you're about to collect the freest kill in the world. It's a nice feeling. And that's how they open it up. Also, additionally, with the GravNet comboing into that. So even if by some very slim chance Kane Zero loses that duel, whoever he caught is about to immediately die when they reappear on the map. That was a good effort from Cubert. They got in hella fast on the flood, but with the weak weaponry, not enough.
Yeah, this is a few rounds ago. This is the Ares round, famously. We saw it play out, of course. There was a gun round win for Cubert Academy. This one here when they were able to slow the pace down. Dicey, though, as it was. Nismo's handled these situations quite well. Not that one, though, as he didn't really have much choice. There's that spray down through the smoke. And then the next round, of course, was our anti-eco with kill contract off his grab net. Oh, man. Scuba already low enough as he popped out here. And Kane Zero denying Ion the revival opportunity by just working Cube in the neutral.
Getting back into this, it is the must-win situation for the Cubert Academy. They've got the ultimates to do so. Perhaps we'll see if Scuba just wants to try and get down that pit straight away, cover short. Pretty typical. Yeah, that is going to be the case, so nullify that position entirely.
As a result, Rank is obviously looking elsewhere at the moment. Some Shower's presence. Maybe Inspire might have the unenviable duty of walking up through the Viper's pit. Rank is on a default, albeit a pretty aggressively postured one. Trying to see what they can possibly dig out here. Notice they got that Sentinel util to catch anyone that might flank them, so they may eventually rotate over towards that B side of the map and apply some more pressure. Exit. With that gate crash out towards spawn, give him a contingency option.
Zero making hell of a lot of noise there. He pops the double tap so that audio's heard. Okay, cool.
God.
I mean, you're just not beating them in duels. You just can't beat them.
That's so good. I want to see these guys play all nights now. I'm ready. Take these guys to
These guys are just all nights Ascension finals.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Each map 30 minutes long.
You know what? I'm good with it. I'm getting old Wyatt. Nicely done. Reduxx deals with Kane Zero. Although he planted his feet and tried to fight, now we're in a 3 versus 3. Reduxx has helped even the odds here in a big way. A site now is where Ion is thinking about being. A very cheeky little Viper orb there. And just give this guy the keys to the city. Reduxx pushes up, has worked through the entirety of Ranker's solo. Now with time very short, we're going to look to a plant, pop and position outside of this kit.
It's just going to come down to the duels and Cubert trying to find a good timing to swing out of the ultimate together. Waiting for the Nismo rotate as well, who has an Armageddon. Could be useful for getting a kill towards Shower, maybe triple.
Some of that spray popping is down. Reduxx, 4 kills on the round.
And
we are in a post plant.
With the spike planted here, you have to imagine he's playing Shower. I wouldn't be surprised if Nismo just rips the Armageddon on him right now.
They pick me up here with the overheal. Reduxx with the ace. Absolutely stunning stuff. Appreciating, of course, the sacrificial lamb. of Cubert, I think it was, to step up. What a way to make a statement here to Rankers, just when we thought this game was functionally over after that opening. It is salvaged by one Scuba.
Reduxx looking about as good as you remember if you're just tuning in and remember seeing him with Oxygen in years prior. This position from him was really lovely. That is the perfect counterplay to Rankers going for a teleport to shower where they want to circumvent the pit entirely, just play around it, and then Reduxx completely cuts them off in that unlikely position on top of the box. That was a really nice little decision from him. Keeps them in the game.
It's interesting, isn't it? Rankers overthink that a little bit. They find those 2 first kills over at B and instead opt to, TP over towards the A side of the map, really hoping to have drawn them away, and it worked. Were it not Reduxx sat in that A site solo, up to 25 kills now. Pretty insane stuff.
Yeah, two of the best duelist stars and challengers for sure. Reduxx has been that, though. I said it earlier, but this Cubert Academy team really is just the why aren't these guys on a tier 1 team yet team. It's just like,
I mean, for some of them, it is this guy is on a tier 1 team, but there is no room in the starting roster.
Yeah, that is the case for Reduxx. I mean, Nismo and Scuba, I've been viewing from that lens for back when the main circuit was called Challengers, before Challengers was this circuit. It was ages ago. Legit been so good for so long.
We saw some pretty insane, especially Sova games from T-Dog last year on Core. I remember we had a lot of 10 last year.
Rankers, they don't really, they don't give you a lot of time to reflect and harken back to the past. I'll tell you that, because Extra's just gonna run it down.
It's why I gave us the timeout,
Yeah,
Thanks,
I appreciate that. Give us 20 seconds allotted for narrative discussion.
Still going to go for this, though. Seek is up for T-Dog, so I'll be able to sniff out anything cheeky in terms of rotations. Up on the container we go. Scuba gets flattened. T-Dog now thinks about the Seekers, maybe look to play off them to some degree, but he's essentially alone at this site.
It's you and me.
Oh, buddy. In we go to the Shadow Realm. T-Dog here only with 25 armor to work with, and jeez, the double tap obviously makes it a pretty one-sided affair. Knight's here. Tough round to have that ultimate up in, I'll be honest with you. They're in a 1 versus 3.
And if Rankers really want to, Popping could just send out the Seekers right now. Just guarantee even further that this is going to be a round win so they get to match point. Well, not necessary now. They do know where he is on account of the wall.
It's going to be Knights. How are we going out? Okay, like that, I say. Kane 0 with 4 on the round, getting close to dropping that fat 3-0. And Rankers here on map point.
He really hit him with the walk around and don't miss. It's just, what are you supposed to do when you're trying to double swing into the ISO, who is then regenerating his double tap, and he's not going to miss? Tough to play against. This was also just perfect. I mean, they know that T-Dog had prior been routed into elbow, free pickup. And again, if the 3% chance Kane loses a duel at this point in the game, he's immediately going to get traded out anyway when T-Dog appears. It's just perfect.
Now, though, to finish the job for Rankers. Scooby here with a judge, Bulldog for T-Dog. So weaponry not exactly premium. And T-Dog's out in the open, flashed out entirely. Contingency makes this one tough. Knights almost gets compacted against the wall. Brought back into the fight, of course, but what is there really to do here? Body sprayed, bullets emptied. I think he was still twitching corpse. And now it's up to Scuba and Reduxx to save the game. Reduxx been incredible, but unfortunately, it's very much been a solo affair trying to shut these guys down. He'll exit with a kill. Scuba gets himself the Phantom. Lee deals with Kane now, 1 versus 3. Heading up towards that heaven side now, or at least tries to imply that. Oh, buddy! What a way to go! Straight into Shelob's jaws. GG.
Misery. Tragedy. And there it is. The Paper Rex of NA Challengers. They run it down and they win again. They don't stop winning. They're currently on a 15-game match win streak, trying to make it number 16 by defeating a team that many may consider their top competition in all of Challengers in the Cubert Academy. They really just ran it down on them. They continue to not miss their shots. The talent on this team is so sick, and the playstyle is just really fun.
It's just absurd. The gameplay's been great. A lot of fun to watch these teams go head to head, and more interestingly, contrast the two styles. Rankers, of course, are pretty unique in this sense. There aren't many teams that quite play like them, and it's going to take even more, apparently, than the veterancy of this Sentinels Cubert Academy roster to keep them at bay. Now, I think Pearl is next, which is definitely a Cubert Academy map. We've seen from them a few times. I don't think we've actually seen that from Rankers yet, or maybe we've seen one outing on that map. If there's any map that maybe you have a way to shut this playstyle down a little bit, it might be Wired, a map that it might be one that Cubert Academy a bit more experienced on. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, folks. As it stands, a very fun game where Rankers have shown us why they are heralded by many to be the best in Tier 2 in NA. So stick around for more of that after this.
I think the biggest factor that makes our team different is every single player on our team just has passion. We're all playing the game every single day. We're not playing TFT, we're not playing League of Legends, we're only playing Valorant, putting all our time into the one game. And it's like what I brought up earlier for my my wisdom of the year is the more time you put in, the more it will yield. Even if you don't feel it, even if it's like you're playing bad, putting in time matters. Like, and not many people just like grind rank. Not many people just put as many hours in the game as us, and I think that's what gives us an edge. No, it didn't really change anything. They're both very similar players, and that's kind of what we were looking for in our fifth player, is a player that kind of just fills Knights' role, which is just a player that can shoot, a player, like I said, that has passion, and that has chemistry with us. We all have played with Ion before in ranked, or most of us at least, and he just filled the spot perfectly. Maybe a little bit. I think that going in the last time, it was like, we have nothing to lose. We're all just like a random team, we got together, like a pug team, right? And if you lose with that team, it's like, whatever, who cares? We were randomly thrown together. But now that we've won something, I think there is a little bit more pressure on us to keep up like the good results. But I don't think it's anything that will stop us. What can we expect? I mean, absolute domination.